gang. What is up? It's Mel. And before we get started, man, just a couple of things. Hello, testing. Okay, we got audio. I'm streaming on 4 platforms. Just a heads up. So if you notice lag, let me know. If you can just communicate that with me. We're on Facebook, YouTube, trying out Periscope, which I hate Twitter, and we're trying out Twitch. And YouTube's been kind of acting funny lately too with their taking videos down and all that kind of stuff. Lately, they started monetizing videos, but we got quite a bit to talk about. Okay, the Surgeon General facing a bunch of criticism. It's just ridiculous. So we got a bunch of clips to kind of go into. Hey, Christina, Tina, how you guys doing? And I wanted to show you this first. This is actually trending on Twitter. Supposedly from Iran, they're saying "Death to America." So we check this out before we get started. Give people some time to join the stream before we get into the actual videos and the content and the context and all this craziness and mess.
بنده این رو برای حضرات بزرگان آمریکایی روشن کنم. مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر ترامپ و جان بولتون و پومپئو. مرگ بر اینا یعنی مرگ بر سردمداران. ما به مردم آمریکا کاری نداریم. مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر شما چند تایی که اون گروهی که دارید اداره میکنید کشورتون رو. مراد اینه. حالا در این دوره اینان، در دوره دیگر هم دیگران. بحث ملت آمریکا نیست. ثانیاً تا وقتی که دولت آمریکا و رژیم آمریکا همین شرارت، همین دخالت، همین خباثت، همین رذالت رو در اعمال خودش داره، این مرگ بر آمریکا از دهان ملت ایران نخواهد افتاد. من توصیم اینه که به اروپاییان
Damn, he's going after Europeans too. Let's see, hold on. The Iranian nation will not abandon death to America. Damn, they're standing on that shit. 2 toes or 10 toes down. Annalise, what's up? Poet Flows, how you doing? Thank you guys for joining. We're going to be testing out. I'm streaming on multiple platforms. I'm also have a call-in number. Going to try that out later just to see if it works or not, if anybody calls. But in the meantime, we're checking this out because this is trending on Twitter. Death to America. I guess Iran is pretty upset, not happy, or whatever.
من توصیم اینه که به اروپایی‌ها اعتماد نکن.
Damn. Don't trust the Europeans either. Not trustworthy.
در مورد آمریکا من از 2-3 سال پیش که این بحث‌های مذاکرات مربوط هسته‌ای برقرار بود دائما هم خصوصی به مسئولین میگفتم هم در جلسات عمومی در سخنرانی‌ها مکرر گفتم من اعتمادی ندارم به اینا اعتماد نکنید. به اینا اطمینان به حرفشون به قولشون به امضاشون
I even said don't trust when they smile. These people cannot be trusted in any way.
خندشون اعتماد نکنید. اینا مورد اعتماد نیستن. خب حالا نتیجه این شده که مسئولینی که اون روز مذاکره میکردن خودشون امروز دارن میگن آمریکا غیر قابل اعتماده. از میکردن خودشون امروز دارن میگن آمریکا غیر قابل اعتماده. از اول بایستی این غیر قابل اعتماد بودن رو تشخیص میدادن حرکت میکردن. امروز هم دارم راجع به اروپا میگم غیر قابل اعتمادن. نمیگم درباره مسائل مورد ابتلا و اینها ارتباط نداشته باشید موضوع. نه بالاخره ما دولتی هستیم حکومتی هستیم الحمدلله مقتدریم توانایی داریم. بحث در این نیست. بحث در این است که به اینها با چشم بدبینی نگاه کنید. اینها به هیچی پابند نیستن.
Whatever he said, man. I don't care what anybody says. No nuclear weapons for them. So they don't hate Americans, but they're saying leaders. They don't like us, man. So I have a bunch of clips, man. We could get into it. We can talk about this whole situation where the Surgeon General, his name slipped my mind, Jerome Adams. He said some stuff and people blew it way out of crazy. All this they're saying it's racist, or people just losing their minds on Twitter. The media is going nuts. So let me see how I want to present this. Let me present it like this. Let me show you the video, the original video. Here we go. Okay, the original video. Let's start with that.
Stay at home if possible. If you must go out, maintain 6 feet of distance between you and everyone else, and wear a mask if you're going to be within 6 feet of others. Wash your hands more often than you ever dreamed possible. Avoid alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. And call your friends and family. Check in on your mother. She wants to hear from you right now. And speaking of mothers, we need you to do this, if not for yourself, then for your abuela. Do it for your granddaddy. Do it for your big mama. Do it for your pop pop. We need you to understand, especially in communities of color, we need you to step up and help stop the spread so that we can protect those who are most vulnerable. This epidemic is a tragedy, but it will be all the more tragic if we fail to recognize and address the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 and an array of other diseases and risk factors on communities of color. The task force and this administration are determined not to let that happen. The president, the vice president have said, we will not let that happen. We can't fix these issues overnight, but I promise you we will work with your communities to quickly and meaningfully move the needle in the right direction. Nothing less than the fate of our families and friends. My family and friends depends on it.
So these people are upset because, well, one, he said Big Mama. So they got, oh, what you mean Big Mama? I'm going to show you the clips of that.
Then for your abuela. We need you to do this, if not for yourself, then for your abuela. Do it for your granddaddy. Do it for your big mama. Do it for your pop pop. We need you to understand.
I mean, he sounds weird saying that. Who says pop pop and whatever? But these people, the media, running with this stuff to make it all a race thing now. Now let me show you. Okay, all right. So let's get on to where Trump gets asked about the African American disparities. We're gonna have some clips I'm gonna show you, and I've been saying this too. It's like mind blowing that there's people out there that believe they're immune, right? Like there's apparently there was.
Can I ask you also about Africa?
Apparently there was black people that believe they're immune. Like who tells them this shit, and why would you believe that, right? I did the video the other day on that one nurse telling people that it's not that's not a virus, that it's just radiation, you know. So that video almost had 1 million views, and now the video got taken down. I checked it today because YouTube's like, I guess, checking stuff. But she got a bunch of praise. I mean, of course there are people that called it out, but me, when I call out the truth, these people get upset. They start calling you coon, Uncle Tom. Today, because of what this guy said, it was trending Uncle Tom, and there was something else trending. Something else. But let me play you this part first so I can give you more of the context. And I've just never seen a group of people, and I'm talking about minorities. I've never seen a group of people so willing to go to their own destruction. I mean, even my own family, some of my family, even friends. Hey, I want to come over. No, get the fuck out of it. No, I just want to come over. I'm bored. I'm so bored. Go report somewhere else. It's amazing how people are so willing to go to their destruction.
The African American disparities.
Yes,
I have a question for you and a question for the Surgeon General.
Sure.
For you, Mr. President, we know that these health disparities have existed for a long time among African Americans, Latinos, and other people of color. Why did the administration possibly have a plan directed at those communities to prevent high death rates, knowing that the health disparities were there?
Well, we do have a plan, and one of the things I'm most proud about is what I've been able to do for the African American community. The lowest job numbers in the history of our country. This was
for the virus,
just before the virus came. Well, I'm just saying, because this has been here for 3 weeks, right? So just before, African American community had the lowest unemployment, the best employment numbers. More African American people and communities have been thriving. If you look at our opportunity zones and what we did, Tim Scott, who's fantastic, a fantastic senator, came to me, opportunity zones, more jobs for African Americans than ever before, better health care than they've ever had before. All of these things. The Surgeon General spoke to it, and he spoke to it, I thought, really brilliantly. I found it very interesting what he said, and I'd love you to come up and answer the second part of a question, because I think you would do it a much better job than I would. Please.
So this is really interesting. What happens next? I don't want to show you both of the angles. You can see the both sides. I just never heard of like the guy's like, um, don't drink, don't do drugs, like basically just be healthy, like what everybody else has been saying, right? Ah, it's racist. Ah, why is it only black people and why is it only Spanish people? Why? Ah. Well, because maybe there's a disparity, a difference between. If I could pull it up, if I could find it, here you go. I mean, maybe because blacks and Latinos are affected the most. Well, I mean, why does this need to be turned into a race thing? It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I mean, heart disease, and has whites actually have heart disease right there. This is from National Center of Health Statistics from 2000. Coronary heart disease, 92, black at top, than the whites. Well, I didn't even look at the Asians. Stroke, you have the black people up top first. Cancer, you have the black people up top first. Some other ones you have differences, but that's all he's saying. These people are nuts. It's like me telling you, hey, there's a virus going around. Just try to be healthy, man. Try to get some rest. Oh, you racist! It's like, what the fuck? Let me show you this clip. So I want to show you from the angle where you can see this woman asking him the questions. And this woman has been here the entire press conference trying to catch one of these people to slip up, trying to catch a sound bite. So that's what these news media does. If you actually sit there for these reports, these people don't care about lives or finding information for people. They ask the dumbest crap and they hope to get a sound bite so then they can upload that video and get thousands of dollars for the millions of views that they get. It's all bullshit with the media. So let me show you this. Okay.
I have a quick question for you. You said that African Americans and
So this is the reporter Kamuchi, and I think her name is Kamuchi. You guys might have seen her if you've been following the whole Trump thing. She's been causing a little bit of ruckus sometimes, but she seems kind of respectable though, at least on Twitter. But she's a snake though, I think.
Latinos should avoid alcohol, drugs, and tobacco. You also said do it for your well.
No, don't do it. Yeah, how dare you say Latinos and blacks avoid alcohol and drugs? How dare you? Like, I've never seen a group of people so willing to go towards destruction. And when you try to tell them some good advice, it's like, nah. If you lie to them, like that nurse that had 1 million views, no, so-called nurse, and you tell these people that there is no virus, that it's just radiation. You tell these people that it's dead in 80-degree temperature. Meanwhile, it's been 90-something degrees here, 80, 90 degrees here in Florida, and there's people dying here all over the place. Like, people just lack common sense. It doesn't take a genius. I've never seen so many blind people. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And all you can do, this is what I learned, man, with this online stuff. All you can do is tell somebody, and if they choose to go to hell, you let them go to hell and drag wherever they take with them. You can't do nothing once you tell somebody. Like, that's it.
Do it for Big Mama and Pop. There are some people already there are some people online that are already offended by that language, and that
Granddaddy too.
And there are some people online that are already do it for Big Mama and Pop. There are some people already.
Notice how she only said Big Mama and Pop, but she left out that he said Abuelita and all this stuff, right? So you're trying to do your little race trigger thing there.
Granddaddy too.
And there are some people online that are already offended by that language and the idea that you're saying behaviors might be leading to these high death rates. Could you talk about whether or not people, could you, I guess, have a response for people who might be offended by the language that you used?
Well, I use that language because that's the language. I've been meeting with the NAACP, with the National Medical Association, with others. I actually talked with Derek Johnson multiple times this week, the head of the NAACP, and we need targeted outreach to the African American community. And I use the language that is used in my family. I have a Puerto Rican brother-in-law. I call my granddaddy. I have relatives who call their grandparents Big Mama. So that was not meant to be offensive. That's the language that we use and that I use, and we need to continue to target our outreach to those communities. It is critically important that they understand it's not just about them. And I was very clear about that. It's not just about what you do, but you also are not helpless. We need to do our part at the federal level. We need people to do their parts at the state level, and we need everyone, black, brown, white, whatever color you are, to follow the president's guidelines, the coronavirus guidelines, and do their part. Because when I talk to the NAACP, 3 weeks ago. It's important to note that one of the things they asked me was, can you help dispel the myths in this community that people actually can't get coronavirus if they're Black?
And we're gonna get into that a little bit more because I've spoken about that whole thing. I actually made a video the other day, like I titled it "Black People Aren't Immune." Surprisingly, YouTube monetized it after several days, but some people were upset with that. You're not immune, and then they think, "Oh, I have my skin color or whatever; it protects me." Nah, you're actually more vulnerable because you have more susceptibility. Because apparently, Latinos and Blacks are at the top of the list for predispositions of illness. Like, I just don't know where people get this shit, dude. It's just ridiculous. So
That was a myth that was out there that's actually very important for us to squash here.
So do you recommend that all Americans avoid tobacco, alcohol, and drug use at this time?
Absolutely. It's especially important for people who are at risk and with comorbidities, but yes, all Americans. So thank you, and I will clarify that. All Americans need to avoid these substances at all times. I
honestly can't even see what's going. Like I have a different screen, so I can't see if something's held. But
put out a smoking cessation report in January. I put out a advisory.
And this guy's like so nice, and it's like these people are trying to hang on to this dude to just take a bite out of him, right? Like, just look at this on Twitter. I mean, look at these people. Let's see some of the. Oh, this is somebody defending him. I noticed that too. Anytime I say some type of truth, I get called Uncle Tom or whatever else. This is the same shit these people say all the time. It's so lame and boring. Like, they think they're gonna control you, try to call you some sort of racial name. Let's see where I saw all this. Okay, somebody here said, I saw Uncle Tom was trending, knew it was about Jerome. What's his name? The Surgeon General. But really, all you need to know is that the dude used to work for Mike Pence in Indiana, when as governor, Pence screwed up Indiana's response to the HIV outbreak. I heard something about that with Pence. I honestly don't think Pence should be running this shit, though. I don't know why Pence is running it. I don't even like the way Pence talks. I used to like Pence, and now Pence is somebody that's just I don't know. He's just kind of like a lapdog. He's really monotone when he talks. He's just kind of like, I used to like him. And I'm just kind of like, nothing. Being called. This is Pastor Mark Burns. Let's see what Mark Burns had to say. Being called an Uncle Tom by a Black person doesn't excuse it from being racist and wrong. Black Americans are not. Oh, he's actually defending him, I think. I'm not immune from doing. Oh, Black Americans are not immune for doing racist things. Damn. Racism is racism despite color of the person who's doing it. Somebody said that didn't make any sense at all. Way to lead the way, Pastor. Listen, one of my relatives called the Surgeon General a chicken and a biscuit eating buck. That's what they always say too. Oh, you a buck? You get them biscuits. By the way, using terms like Big Mama doesn't fool us. I remember the other day there was a whole big deal because Trump said "you people," and they're like, "Ah, what do you mean, you people? You retards that don't have common sense. That's who you people is. The dumb people."
Against youth and pregnant women using marijuana last year, and that was not directed towards any one race. That's everybody needs to do everything they can to be as healthy as possible at this critical time. Dr. Fauci, would you add anything?
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly, Jerome. Thank you. Would you like to add anything to it?
And this is rich too. Even Fauci gets in here and he's like, "Yo, like, chill out."
Really, you expressed it very beautifully.
A little too excited.
No, I mean, Jerome, you did it beautifully. I can't do it any better than that. And I know Jerome personally, and I can just testify that he made not even a hint of being offensive at all with that comment. I thought that was appropriate. Thanks.
And I can tell you, Jerome has done a fantastic job. Our Surgeon General. I just hope nobody's.
That's just incredible to me. Like, you can try to do something right. You can be like, hey, just be careful, don't drink. I mean, the mama thing or whatever, the Big Mama, I guess that was a term he used within his family. That's what he said. That was the explanation that he gave.
Quick question for you.
To those communities, it is critically important. When I talked to the NAACP 3 weeks ago, okay. It's important.
I wanted to show you some of this other stuff here too. Oh, take out this
for
guy.
you to get on the bus and stand on the bus and cough several times without covering up your mouth, and you know that we in the middle of a, that lets me know that some folks don't care.
4 days after he made the video, Jason Hargrove tested positive for. He died on April 1st.
Obviously, these people don't care. The ones that are in the street just completely partying and woo, just doing whatever, man, infecting their families. Remember the 1-year-old birthday party? Let me play this Chicago mayor.
And yet we heard in the report just now that there has been a lot of misinformation out there. Do you have any sense of what kind of misinformation there has been in the Black community?
Well, I think there's been a misinformation that Black people can't actually get the virus. And the truth is, in Chicago, the first reported death was an African-American woman who then gave it to her sister, who then also died.
That's what I'm saying. Like, whenever I try to spread some sort of information, I mean, like legit stuff. I understand if I'm going hard, like legit stuff. They get upset. They start calling you all kinds of names. And then they go support these other people that are straight out lying. And they're like, oh, yeah, facts. Facts, yo. That's facts. I'm like, people can't be this stupid. But then what I've realized in my life, too, the people that are like this, that don't have that common sense, that can't discern, I've realized that these people are like that in their own lives, that they're liars, manipulators, deceivers. So then when it comes across this kind of stuff, there is no discernment because they are themselves doing that. Let me give you another example. Just a quick example. When I covered Dulce, what's her full name? Dulce. I can't remember her name. Dulce Maria something. The little girl that was kidnapped. What her name is Dulce something. Somebody told me to cover the story, and when I covered the story, I learned that this woman went to the park, and she leaves her child to go play in the park by themselves. She's sitting in the parking lot, and then I found out she's playing lotto tickets. Okay, in the car while her kid gets kidnapped, and I called it out. I was like, "That's stupid. That's retarded." The person messaged, "Why would you say that? That's not nice." Even with the cupcake thing, when you criticize this child being out at 7, 8 o'clock at night on camera by themselves and people getting upset, like, what, am I not supposed to say the obvious shit? That's not normal to leave your kid at a park.
So the numbers speak for themselves. The fact that Black people are dying at 7 times the rate of any other demographic is stunning. It is a red alarm, an alert that we've got to respond to, and we are in our city.
Crazy. Here's another one. Boom.
Look at this chart. You can see African Americans represent 41% of COVID-19 deaths. The next.
I mean, is it really that bad that this man went and told Blacks and Latinos, hey, be careful. Maybe you shouldn't be drinking. Maybe. I mean, is it that horrible? I noticed that when you tell people, you try to give them advice, some of them just choose destruction and hell. One party claims to be against racism, and one party that calls successful Black people Uncle Tom. Same party. And he seems like a nice guy. I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing is some of these people that are getting pulled into this situation, Trump's built for that. I'm not sure these other people are, that whole media
closest
thing, you know?
Race, Caucasian at 28%. We want to bring in Dr. Frank McGeorge.
Yeah.
And Frank, I've said this all along, that's a significant difference.
Yeah, it sure is. And it's a trend being seen around the country as many states and regions are breaking down the numbers by race. No doubt the COVID-19 pandemic has affected African Americans very differently than other races, and the reasons need to be investigated. Whether you're talking about Michigan, where 33% of cases, but 40% of deaths have occurred in African Americans, or Illinois, where 29% of cases, but 42% of deaths were in Blacks. COVID-19 is causing a higher rate of deaths in African Americans. In Louisiana, 70% of people killed by COVID-19 are Black, even though they only represent 32% of the state's population. Now, the reason for this needs more.
Here's the other thing too about these studies though. When they do this, they start throwing out numbers, right? Like they tell you, because I was reading an article the other day, 70% of deaths, right, and 32% of the population. 70% of death, 32 population. 30% of cases, 4% of deaths. Why don't you tell us the actual number of cases? Like, how can we compare? That could be 30% of 10 deaths, right? That could be, what is this? What was that here? That could be 77% of 2 is nothing compared to if we're talking about 1,000 or 100. You know what I'm saying? Like we need the actual data and numbers. Like, what is this? This is vague to me still. Like, obviously, Blacks are dying disproportionately, and somehow there's people that think they're immune. You know, the Iranians thought they were immune too. That was a joke to me also. Thought they were immune or something. I think it was Iranians. And then not only that, I spoke about this the other day. These people, this is how you know people can't think for themselves. People are zombies. You can't, I mean, I can't make this shit up. The people in Iran, somebody was going around putting a scam out, telling them that the cure is methanol. Okay? Methanol, drinking methanol. So all these people start drinking. Like, just think about the mentality you have to start drinking methanol. I guess you're desperate. You must be really desperate, I guess. And hundreds dead. Okay. As many as 480 people have died from drinking the toxic. It's ingesting high proof alcohol. You know what's worse about this too is I heard some of these people give it to their kids. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if this article has it. A video broadcast on Iranian networks showed an online 5-year-old boy who apparently got blind after his parents gave him the liquid. Like, I can't make this shit up. Like, that's what I'm saying. People are. I've never seen it like this in my life. Like, this is we may never see something like this in our life. But it made me realize that people are truly gone, lost. A majority, not all. I mean, it's embarrassing to these people fighting over toilet paper. These people tearing each other up like animals over toilet paper. That should be embarrassing, yo. I don't know, man.
Likely to suffer from high blood pressure and diabetes. Both are risk factors that have been identified in other countries for developing more severe disease in COVID-19. Now, many speculate that the COVID-19 pandemic is helping to uncover health disparities that have long existed in America. Another avenue being investigated is whether there could be genetic and physiologic factors that could make certain races more susceptible to SARS-CoV-2. Everything from different numbers and types of certain receptors to the way different races might respond to the massive inflammation induced as COVID-19 worsens are being looked at. Now, I realize it's really tempting to simply jump to the conclusion that the mortality differences that we're seeing in African Americans is simply due to healthcare disparities. But it is just as important to sort out any other potential contributing causes so we can figure out if there may be a more specific way to correct the problem. There's little doubt that underlying illness plays an important role here, but there may be much more beneath the surface. Back to you.
Yeah, okay. Frank, thanks.
I mean, if you can, I'd say stay inside. But let me play a little bit of the other side of the situation. This is somebody from, let's see, this is somebody from New York, I think. New York. Oh, yeah.
The way that racism.
So here she talks about racism. So we'll play the other side too, so you guys can get that perspective. By the way, I'm supposedly streaming on 4 platforms. I don't even know if it's working or not. I gotta check and see. Twitter, Periscope. I don't know if I am or not, but I have a call-in number that I wanted to tell. Oh, yeah, I'm streaming. There's 2 people watching me on Periscope. Wow. But I have this number. If anybody wants to call in and test it out, you can. I've never done it before, but if you want to call in and just, I don't know, share your thoughts or experience about anything and everything that's going on with this whole situation. I did a little test before I started the stream, and I called myself to see, so I was able to do it. But let me play this video in the meantime.
Racism is operating in this pandemic is in two separate fronts. It's increasing exposure to the virus, and it has increased vulnerability to the virus. So increasing exposure to the virus because the way that racism that structures opportunity and assigns value has structured our educational opportunities and job opportunities. We are in more front-facing, low-income, underappreciated jobs where we are part of the essential workforce that really isn't getting its full attention and certainly not getting the full protection that we need. Racism has increased the vulnerability of us to this virus because living in racially segregated communities that are resource segregated without adequate access to food, and our environmental racism hazard segregated, has made us carry in our bodies all of those same diseases: diabetes, high blood pressure, renal disease, asthma.
I dialed in to number. Oh, let me see. Do I have something here? See if I could check. Oh yeah, I do have somebody in the call. All right, I'm gonna let this play for a few more seconds, and then I'll bring you in. This is interesting. I don't know too much about the whole supposed systemic or structural racism in place or whatever, but you could just stay inside and not go outside. You could do that too. That is an option. Instead of going to that 1-year-old's party and there's 40 or 50 of you with children over there and spreading it all over the place, you could just stay home. But that is a argument that she is bringing up, that you could say that too.
That are making people who get infected to the virus sicker and die faster from it.
So that's
we
Angie.
can't just look at these statistics and then shrug or say, oh, well, we expected that. We have to act. And so the way that we act is on both fronts. You ask me, how do we act when we recognize that we have chronically been sicker and dying sooner? What that means is if we already recognize that, we have to move all of the health resources to those areas where we can already expect higher deaths and all. So we should not have Black people already burdened with these diseases, living in communities where they can't get adequate testing, number one, but adequate access to ventilators and health resources.
Listen, the ventilator thing and the testing thing, that's an everybody thing. It's not a Black people thing. Nobody in the world had the amount of ventilators that they needed. Like Italy didn't have, like they were choosing and deciding who dies or whatever like that, But I as far as medical health, I can't understand that from a certain perspective, because I used to work in a hospital, and the insurance in the hospital is really good. Once you start getting insurance from regular companies, the insurance is horrible. You get these high deductibles. You really can't do anything. The only thing the insurance is paying for is like a one annual your free annual visit, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. But as far as like if you have an emergency and you need to go to the ER, they'll take you and they'll probably send you a bill later on. Let me take in this call, 315, the first call. Hopefully it works. Let's see. Talk. Hey, can you hear me?
Hi, Angie Policelli here.
Hey, Angie, thanks for calling. How you doing?
I would be better if I didn't see what I see that's happening in the world right now. As far as this COVID-19 is concerned, I'm very concerned by the fact that the governors have signed legislation in their states stating that the medicine that the president spoke of, the hydroquinone or whatever it is, I call it the Z-Pack,
Yeah.
He gave out, he sent 10,000 units to New York. I'm in New York State, upstate New York. We have probably less than 200 cases. And the governor signed legislation that the doctors have restrictions on who they prescribed it to. I think a lot of lives could have been saved if the people were given the drugs, because the drugs has been on the market for 65 years.
Yep.
And it was for lupus, malaria, and arthritis, and it has been successful. Now, I've been researching this, and I've seen that the people in countries that have high case malaria and stuff, they're not getting the COVID-19 virus. Wonder why? Perhaps because the people are on those drugs.
Right.
The doctors that has lupus patients, one of them had like 1,000 patients, and not one of them had the COVID-19, and that's here in the United States. And they keep saying the drugs are unsafe and it's going to give you heart arrhythmia and heart attacks and stuff like that. That is not true.
I've done the research.
It isn't true.
Yeah, it's bullshit. They're
These
just trying to
people,
scare people.
Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates, and Dr. Berg, they're pushing vaccines. But we don't want a vaccine when we have an, I'm not going to say cure, but we have something that could save a lot of people, especially, okay, if you don't want to give it to me, because I don't have the corona, thank you, Jesus, and I have triplets that are 20 years old today, because today is April 11th, and I have a husband. I'm 53. My husband, he'll be 70 next week. Okay, so we are all good over here so far. But if you don't want to give it to us, what about my neighbors that are doctors? What about the nurses? What about my dad, who's a police officer in Baltimore City for almost 50 years, in his 48th year, and he's out there on the streets? Give it to the paramedics. Give it to the CNAs, the respiratory therapists, and things like that. Let them take the drugs so that they don't get sick treating these people. And I'm appalled by the fact that our governor, New York State Cuomo, our governor, is filling these hospitals up with the doggone freezer trucks for the dead bodies. And then he's complaining about ventilators. And he didn't have enough, and he was lying because they were in a warehouse. And he's even taking supplies from upstate and taking them down there. Now, I think that everybody, not just Black people, but we are the ones that suffer it, because you notice where he put the extra medical facilities that he asked Trump for. Trump built 2 or 3 or 5 facilities in New York, near New York City, right? Okay, but did he build them in a place where the Black people were being affected? Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Elmhurst? No, those people would die before they could get transportation to get to those sites. Those sites are virtually sitting there empty.
Do you know where they're at?
And what about early?
Location. Do you know the locations of where those hospitals? I could probably look it up of where they were, where in New York they were put or built.
The Java Center is one.
Yeah.
It's about 3 or 5, and not only that, the boat that Trump sent down there, the ship he sent. Now it was a capacity for 1,000. At first, it wasn't supposed to take COVID patients, but now they are, and now it's a 500 bed capacity. But all those people that were outside and standing in those lines about a couple weeks ago, right, when they first shut everything down. And then another thing, too, let me just jump to this. Why aren't we sanitizing our streets in those high-hit areas like the other countries are doing? Has anybody thought about that?
Somebody asked me that the other day, and they thought it was crazy, but I saw the videos in the other countries that they were doing that. They were walking around and just like spraying everything down. I don't know how that works, or I guess it works, or it helps with something.
Well, yeah, because if the coronavirus is out there on the subways and the trains and the sanitization, and you saying wash your hands and wash your bodies, don't you think that since the streets are empty, that in your first responders out there, that you would need to hose down the roads in the streets and stuff before the people get back out there? You know, something deeper is going on, and I think that we are. I don't know who you are, but I like you. I just found you. I think this is my first time seeing you.
You'll probably
What's your
dislike
name?
me
I'm
by
talking
tomorrow.
to you, and I don't even know your name.
You'll probably dislike me by
name?
tomorrow, but I'll make it Mel. I just
What's
kidding.
your name is Mel?
Yeah, you can call me Mel.
Icky Mel. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can call me Mel. It's
Okay,
easy.
okay. Well, I'm Miss Angie, honey.
Miss Angie, nice
And
to
no,
meet you.
I'm not going to dislike you. And I am a Trump supporter, but I am not a Republican.
Oh, you're not allowed to say that. I'm not either. I'm not a Republican either. I'm still considered Democrat, but
I am not a Republican, and I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent
That's what
voter.
I'm going to be switching to. Yeah.
So I vote for whoever is right, you know, at the time. So your little people, you know, and I'm a Black woman and married to a white man with little biracial, little Italian children.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that.
triplets.
They're going to call you all kinds of names for that.
Okay, let
Lord.
them. Okay, because I'm not going to be perturbed by them.
Right.
Okay, Obama didn't do anything when he was in office, and I think that and Biden should not be the Democratic Party person to be running for president, because they know that man is over 75 and he's senile.
It's
and it's a
insane
shame.
that he's leading, and I don't know if other people actually.
Well, today the poll came out that he was tied with Trump. Okay.
Oh yeah,
They said he
I
was
heard about
tied.
that. Right.
Did you see that? That was just ridiculousness. And I think I don't want to think this way because I believe in God, honey. But if this would be ashamed, if this was orchestrated, and all of a sudden, you know, like I saw a video about a doc. I call him Dr. Well, I ain't gonna call him out his name, but Dr. Fauci. He said that there would be a surprise for us before the election. Yeah, he did say that. I posted it on my Facebook. And why would he say that? Why would Bill Gates talk about this years ago, this pandemic? And why is he in charge? Or I think it was your publication that posted what he was involved with, the WHO.
Yeah, I was watching this guy talk about
and all that stuff in the beginning of your broadcast.
Yeah.
Was that you that posted that stuff?
Yeah. The other
Yeah,
one too.
so that was very important information. So, you know, we have to be smart. And what I think that happened really is that Trump, by him telling us about this medicine that works and them fighting against it, you know, Trump is a smart man. I think that created a flaw in their program for what they had in store for us, because they were thinking that they didn't think that we were going to start investigating and finding out that this medicine does work.
Right. I feel like they would rather people die just so.
Oh my God,
I
know it's
they
so
can't
sad
have Trump sign that. Yeah,
but that's what it appears to be like.
Yeah.
And then they messing with the poor little asthmatic Surgeon General, Dr. Man. I mean, he's
so
just as
messed
sweet as he wants to be.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice fella. And we all say mama, papa. We can understand that language.
Right. I wanted to ask you really quick too. What do you think about, like, do you think this thing is going to be something that's seasonal, or is it just going to be gone once we figure it out? Or, I mean, you think it's coming back? I mean, I guess they don't really know, but they're thinking it might be, or I don't know. And I guess that brings back to
my advice to the people would be to tell President Trump to keep doing what he's doing, and for us to get in touch with our governors and make this medication available. We got 29 million units of it, according to President Trump.
Right.
So everybody that's coming in, that's suffering, can be saved from ventilators. Now, all of a sudden, we got over 18,000 deaths to coronavirus. What happened to heart attacks?
Right. Well, that's
what
the
happened
thing. Yeah.
And then I find out that it's $13,000 if you get a coronavirus diagnosis when you walk in the door. If they put you on a ventilator, it's $39,000 via Medicare or Medicaid or whatever it is.
And you know what it is? I think they're just paying for like the testing, but like all the other stuff and all the medical bills, I guess you have to pay for that. I guess you get stuck with that.
Yes, Trump said that the testing was free. And now the people at the White House is getting the 5-minute test. The 5-minute test is out.
Oh, wow. That's that new test. Yeah.
Yes, the new test. And the people at the White House is getting it. So there is no reason for us.
With these celebrities, too. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these celebrities are lying, but these celebrities are all getting tested, too, for everybody else. You know, I guess it's a financial.
Well, and you know what? Thing. They had the cure. They had the COVID. They had the Z-Pack, okay? Just like Cuomo's brother, Fredo there, little Chris Cuomo, honey. He over there in his basement with the coronavirus, but he healed all of a sudden. And then what they were doing, too, was turning the black people away in those hospitals in New York City, in the Bronx and Brooklyn and everything. You go to the hospital, they was like, oh, it's just the flu. Or they give you the flu test and they say, you know, well, even if it doesn't come back positive, you know, it's just a common cold. Just go home and take some over-the-counter medicines and stuff. And then these people are getting deathly ill and they're dying and they're burying them in mass graves. The people can't say goodbye to their loved ones.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I mean, It's Holy Week, and they were really upset when Trump was praying for and hoping for a miracle for Easter Sunday, that we could go to church and worship God together. And if I believe this could be stopped if they would give the people the medicine, at least the ones on the front line. You have the people that are the doctors that are patients, lupus patients. They're saying the worst thing that you could have is an upset stomach. Well, God damn it, too much drinking on a Friday night will give you an upset stomach.
Right.
And I'm quite sure that a lot of people would risk that as opposed to having to be on a ventilator and possibly dying. And the sad thing about it is that once you go into the hospital, some of these people are never seeing their family members again. They get incubated and then they get progressively worse and they die. And just like Italy, here they're picking and choosing if they have a shortage of those ventilators. And there's a device that was made where you could hook up 8 patients to one ventilator.
8 patients. Wow. I've only heard of the thing where they were experimenting with 2 for the ventilators.
No, 8. It's 8. Somebody went to Home Depot and made the contraction. I posted the video on my Facebook site. So it's a whole bunch of things that could be done to save lives. And these people are not interested. Only Trump is interested in saving lives. And the media is down his throat and asking stupid questions and picking on him for every little thing. I mean, he's
I would
only
think it's
one
embarrassing.
person.
What I've seen, 'cause you know what, a lot of people don't have the time to watch the entire press conference or whatever. But if you watch what's going on and not see these little chopped up clips, you will realize like all the games that these people are playing. It's just crazy to me. That's when they do not care about how many people die, live, whatever. It's just about sensationalism and making those thousands of dollars after you get some sort of clickbait from this guy.
And I worked in the medical field as a certified nursing assistant for 15 years.
I was going to ask if you're a nurse. Yeah, you're kind of.
No, I'm not. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I was a CNA, and my husband's an attorney, a criminal defense attorney. So I work for him too as a paralegal. But in the medical field, we had the PPE, protective gear. So anybody that had any type of infection, a flu at the time when I worked, you walk in there and you put your coverings on and everything. You discarded that stuff. And you can't take that stuff and use it from one patient to the next room, to the next room, to the next room, to the next room. So this is ridiculous about not having enough supplies. And when myself, when I first heard about this coming, right, I went to the grocery store in a mask and gloves way before the CDC said to wear these things.
Wow. Hey, Angie, I have another person on the other line. I'm going to take him. I don't know if you want to hold and you want me to come back to you because there's only one other person, or you just want to cut it now.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I appreciate you coming on, though. Appreciate the conversation. And all
okay, I just want to bless everybody for Holy Week and say God bless you, stay safe, stay indoors, and if you have to go out for supplies, please wear masks, please wear gloves, please wear a coat and discard that stuff as needed. And God bless everybody. Happy Easter to you.
Thank you. Happy Easter. Appreciate it. Appreciate your call. Very informed, a lot of details, easy to talk to. Appreciate that.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
God bless
you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's take 757 if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, man. How's it going?
Hey, who is this?
This is Los, first time caller.
Oh, okay. You know Sonny?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Great neighbor, and he turned me on. And actually, I've been loving your show since he's been since I've been introduced.
Awesome, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. So, what's your thoughts, man? Everything that's going on.
My thoughts is in everything that's going on. I'm still an quote unquote fingers essential employee, and I'm out here every day in LA County, right on the coast, ship and receive. And right now, a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are scared. And the only thing I can say is, being a high risk Black male, right here, I'm pretty sure I'm feeling like everybody does around the country, that $1,200 ain't gonna do too much for my family.
Right.
And I got to do what I got to do to make sure food's on the table and a roof over their head. And the only thing I'm saying is, I'm not disparaging any conspiracy theorists, but be safe, be smart, cover your face, wash your hands, and do whatever you can to make sure you and your family are safe.
Right.
And as far as the immediate administration goes, you can always see where he's been, and I'm not going to speak too much on that.
You can. I know you're probably. I know Sonny is definitely not a Trump supporter. I have conversations with people all the time. My entire family is like not on it. They all look. You should have seen when we were at the dinner table and I told them that I voted for him. They were like, "What? Yeah, what?" Like the look of disgust on their face. So no, whatever you feel, man, you go ahead and express it. I have no problem, man.
I'm pretty sure my family had the same look when I told them I was agnostic.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a tough one too.
Yeah. Yes. But honestly, you look at what people do and not what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at what he does and all the policies and the things that's going before courts and everything, they go against everything that he says. If you look at how he has not enforced any company to start manufacturing the PPP that our first responders need, and he's actually holding and deferring shipments to other places that he deems more necessary right now for companies that's already ordered PPE from overseas, it's not hard to see what he's doing. Just look at where it's going and look at what's happening. And everything will come to light in the long run. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you, because I'm curious. So do you think he's behind this? Like, do you think he's like doing this whole thing? It's intentional, or what's your
honestly, thought? I honestly don't think he's doing the whole thing intentional. I think he's flying by the seat of his pants and fucking up. I'm sorry, my bad.
That's okay. YouTube demonetizes all my shit anyway. That's all right. They don't pay me nothing.
All right, cool. I think he's flying by the seat of his pants and just screwing it up every step of the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Money is, of course, in his back pocket. If he has stake in hydroxychloroquine or whatever that is, and he keeps promoting it like it is, then, as a businessman, I can understand why you would do it. But the country is not a business. We are a people. We are not employees. We are citizens. And he's got to understand that. You can't run a country like a business.
Okay. So, okay, the whole Production Act, I'll agree with you on that. Like, I do think that was one of the points where I think he could have done better, because it's kind of like, what was the point? But what I started to think about that too, and for the people that are listening, the Production Act is supposed to be, I could be wrong, but it's something that where you force a company or whatever manufacturer, we need this for the country. You have no choice. You do this now. And it's happened, I guess, during wartime.
But you do pay but the government is obligated to pay the market retail prices, the fair prices.
Okay.
So it's not like it's a lose-lose situation or
right.
a lose-win situation. He says, hey, GM, I need you to make ventilators right now. Then at the current price that generators is going, then GM's going to have to make them and accept that price. Why he hasn't done this, I don't know. Why he?
I think there's a lot.
PPE and
I think there's a lot behind the scenes.
It is a lot going on behind the scenes, and a lot of the things is that he doesn't know. And it's not that he doesn't have the information at hand; it's he's unwilling to look at the information at hand if it is unfavorable to him. And I'm not saying that this is in every aspect, but it's in a lot of the aspects of what he's done in the last 3 years. Everything has always gone back to something that has always benefited him. Yeah. And when somebody says, hey, you never let a good crisis go unwasted, and I can see that. Like, if you can make money on this, true. But if you're going to bust my neighbor for hoarding hand sanitizer right now and trying to sell it at 500% markup, And you should do the same for the people at Amazon. You should do the same for the people that are shipping it overseas. And instead of confiscating their items when they're on their way over here and distributing to states that are more favorable to you, you should let them go to the proper people that bought them. Like California got a bunch of ventilators, but every last one of them was broken. Like, what good does that do us? The only saving grace right now for us is the fact that Gavin Newsom is actually enforcing a stay-at-home order. Right now in the LA County, in some spots, we actually have a face mask in public order. And as a high-risk Black individual, I'm okay with it. Walking down the street and people cross the street to avoid me is nothing new. So the fact that, hey, when I go into a store and people look at me like, hey, put on your face mask, I'm like, oh my God, that's new. Instead of, hey, take off your hat.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people are really getting, I mean, there's a lot of fights and stuff that I've seen, people choking people out, punching each other over the mask thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. Honestly, don't get me wrong, I don't really travel out much outside of a 3-mile radius for my daily commute. I go to work, come home, shower. If I don't need to go immediately to the store around the corner or the grocery store, I keep my ass in the house. It's just the safest thing for me and my family. I have an older individual that lives with me, and my kids love her. Can't say that I love her the most, but my kids love her. And I can't bear for anything to happen to her.
Who? Okay, so I see how you feel about Trump. Who you think would have done a better job than what Trump, or do better than what Trump is doing now?
Who?
Yeah,
anybody. I would have chosen my house cat to do.
So it doesn't matter. You take anybody, because I noticed that's an argument that
my house cat wouldn't have fired Obama's pandemic team during the beginning. So they would still be at work, and they would have listened to the World Health Organization back in early January, late December, when they said this is going to become a problem.
Well, in January, the World Health Organization said that there's no human-to-human transmission, according to preliminary results. But supposedly, maybe in February, I don't know, maybe they did say something. But like with the whole thing too with the ventilators, man, like a lot of people like to make this like a Trump thing. Like Trump's actually the person manufacturing the stuff, and then he's getting in a truck and he's driving it over there, and he's managing each and every single state. Like there's a system in place, mayors, governors. Like we can't. I know people, these governors over, they want to do that so they can just point the finger anytime something goes wrong. But the ventilators, nobody in the world was ready for that, right? Like there's no way you could have just borrowed it from here, borrowed it from there.
Right.
You know, that we completely caught off guard with that.
Yeah, you're completely.
We should have been prepared, though.
One thing, we should have been prepared. And you're exactly right about that. And Obama's pandemic team actually had laws in place that would have taken effect the first year of Trump's presidency that he disbanded, that said, just in case any epidemic, you need to have so many respirators, so many masks, so many gowns, just in case a pandemic like after the Ebola and the swine flu hit. Obama pandemic response team actually kicked these things into action. But Trump kind of kicked them off to the wayside and says this is just unnecessary cost on the hospitals that they don't need to bear. So they never came forth. And now we're looking at what could have been, and it's not what is. But we can't say what could have, should have, would have. Right now we got to deal with what is on hand. And the only thing I'm saying is what is on hand is until a vaccine is brought about, unless you're going to do widespread testing, then we're going to look at a lot of people being at home for a long time.
I'm hearing the numbers are starting to go down a little bit.
Almost 20. We've had 20,000 dead. Well, almost 20,000 dead in 30 days. It's going to hit 20,000 in the next 1 or 2 days, give or take. You agree with me on that?
Yeah, possibly. But here's the thing too, and this is what Angie brought up. Okay, this was a really good conversation to have. We didn't get to talk about it, but she was stating that like in these hospitals, there used to be people with heart attacks. There used to be people coming in for strokes, and all of a sudden now everybody is just listed under COVID. And if you die, it's just listed under COVID. And they're saying that's a little bit problematic because then now we're not separating the people that were actually gonna die. Everything's just being put under this blanket of COVID. You know, so it could make things potentially inaccurate. But I'm not one of the people that said
they could it could misskew the numbers in a case where it makes COVID seem a little bit more than what it is, right?
Possibly, yeah. But I mean, I've been one of the people saying to take precaution, I like a conspiracy theory, but I'm not going to push something that's going to endanger people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, just it's not happening, and go out there. What you see some of these people doing.
I'm saying is, what tonight CNBC pointed that 2,000 plus people died from COVID that was in senior care centers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that, what if it wasn't 2,000? What if it was a little less than 2,000 and some of them already had some disease? Or what if it's actually more than 2,000 and some of those people were actually healthy and, now all of a sudden a week later, respiratory issues and they're gone. And these are actual people that we're losing. And by any means, if we lose 20,000 Americans in 30 days, we've got to realize we've got a problem. And it can't be a state by state problem if it's nationwide. We need to take a federal level approach to at least identify, zero in on the problem, and at least figure out, at least according to scientists, experts, medical doctors, and listen to what they say. I'm going to listen to my doctor. I'm not going to listen to the guy that's making my portfolio right now. I'm going to listen to my doctor.
Problem with that though too is I totally get the whole expert thing, right? But just like this, I don't know if you saw that viral video, the supposed medical professional, the chick that got on there, she had a little cap and gown and a little face mask.
Oh, I did watch
started
that.
Giving out crazy information.
That the other night. I did watch that.
Listen, people are so fooled just because somebody went and got a degree, man. A lot of these people are lacking common sense, or they're just telling them what the book that they read in their entire life taught them. Like I've been to the doctor. There was this one time I went and I had this like blood work done, and like they missed that I had really high estrogen at the time. Like it was crazy highs. Oh, you're good, man. Go on your way. Had I not thought to question it and look into it, I would have just walked away and never got that resolved. So like, and even in the medical field, you might go to one doctor, they tell you this, and you go to the next one, they tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Like even with this whole hydroxychloroquine thing, there's like, I read an article the other day, it's like 6,000 doctors like worldwide. They're all ordering this stuff. Like, I mean, I don't think these doctors are trusting.
Even though you got 6,000 doctors ordering it, you still have a few doctors that are saying that are not giving it out. And I'm sorry, I was a kid born. I'm a bubble kid. Like I had lung deficiencies when I was born. Bubble for like the first 2 years.
Were you really? Oh, you were. So I thought you were kidding. You were actually a bubble.
I was bubble boy.
Wow.
So like actually, when it comes to listening to doctors, I'm like, cool. I'm friendly because most of my friends I didn't know growing up. They were all nurses and people. They were shift people. So I'm a friendly person. I get along with strangers, doctors and nurses. I'm friendly with, and I listen. And maybe that's a downfall on my side. But just for these people saving my life the first time around of me coming in, and them being around all the way up to the age of constantly every other month to the age of like 13, 14 with asthma, inhalers, medications, breathalyzers, breathers, the one that you plug into the wall that hums, you put on a face mask. Yeah, I had to do that in school, in elementary, and my kindergarten class put me behind a divider when I had to do my respiratory therapy. Yeah, and it scared the kids at first till I had a doctor come in and explain everything that was going on. So I've learned to trust medical experts, and that might be bad. And if I have 4, 5, 6, 7, a bunch of different medical experts saying the same thing, and then I have 1 or 2 that draw a different hypothesis, I'm not going to lie. I choose to look into the 1 or 2's background before I make a judgment.
Okay.
And then when I look into the 1 or 2's background, I kind of make a decision based on where their income, where their research from, and where they live and everything.
Right.
And it's just my thing.
Yeah, that's your thing, man. I've worked in the hospital for like, I don't work there anymore, but probably over 10, 12 years, pharmacy tech. And I've seen a lot. I remember there's this one story, man, where this woman came in there with her husband. He was an older guy. I've told the story before. And the nurse comes in to give the husband 10 mLs of methadone liquid, and it's like the woman doesn't know what the medication is, but she's like, my husband's not on this medication. The nurse is like, oh, come on, no, this is what the doctor did, this is what the doctor wrote. Nurse kept insisting, so she gave 10 mLs of methadone to a person that's not on any kind of drugs or anything like that, and he died like on the spot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
But there's just a lot of these weird stories, and a lot of things that happen you probably don't even hear
It's
about
a
it
lot of
because they don't want
stories.
it to
I mean, don't
get
get
in
me
the
wrong.
press.
Don't get me wrong. Anytime I get into a news doctor, I make sure I tell my full background, full history.
Right,
And that's some of it's on us and some of it's on the doctors. They need to do a little bit more of the research. But just for once, just because my man Sonny said something, I just gotta clarify that I'm a black dude named Carlos talking to a Latino dude named Mel.
Yo, that's some real nerd shit right
So I
there.
just gotta
like
point that out. Just gotta point that
that
out.
sounds
Because
funny
he
as hell.
said something, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's funny." I was like, "But it's true. But it's true." But in all honesty, only thing I can say is, yo, protect yourself and protect the ones you love. If you close your eyes and picture your funeral, the people that you see there, that's who you are essential to.
Right.
And if you don't see your boss there, then you know where your ass needs to be.
Right.
Point blank. And one thing I can say is the government hate to hand out money to people. Just hand out money. So if they handing out money and telling you to take care of bills, then something might be a little serious. Because Republican presidents, even Democratic presidents, they hate to give away money to everybody. Bush gave out, what, 200? Obama cut the payroll tax for a minute. And now you're talking about giving $1,200 to every eligible American.
Yeah.
The government hates to give out money unless you're a company or a bank or a business. If you're a single person, the government is not going to give you anything. We've been fighting healthcare. We've been fighting welfare. We've been fighting everything for any Social Security net. So if they're automatically throwing out Social Security nets, it might be a reason to be worried.
What do you guys think? I want to ask you this and the people in the chat. And by the way, anybody wants to call in, you can call in. There's nobody on hold. But so with the stimulus thing, people that haven't paid their child support are not getting anything. I think last I read, I think it was like 3 million people or something like that. You guys think
Yeah,
about
that kind of it's a stinger because the people that didn't pay their child support say they still have kids, and they might still be in the kid with that they're claiming not to have child support for, and it's hurting their family too. But then not only that, you still got people that, you know what I'm saying, you got for a long time it was people that was on Social Security that were scared that they weren't going to get a check, people that live, say older people that live with their kids that take care of them that weren't going to get a check. There's still a lot of things out there, and for the average person, the average working or non-working or retired or overage individual, to get this $1,200, yet still they're trying to kick another $250 billion out the door to quote unquote small businesses, which includes cruise lines and airlines. They don't sound like the neighborhood small business that I go to the store and buy my lotto tickets from the corner store in the neighborhood or a pack of eggs because Ralph was out down the street.
So with like the whole, I understand what you're saying because I was thinking the same thing too. Like why, right? Like the cruise line, the airline, why? They're making any damn sense.
Yeah,
But then
when
with the airlines, you have to look.
Fly under other nations.
With the airlines, what I was looking at is there's like 750,000 people employed by the airlines. So you don't pay these people to keep the people working, then you have an additional already now extra 750,000 plus. I think part of the problem is like, I mean, and I'm gonna start videos soon here too. I know people want to get back to videos, but if anything, what this has taught me in this country, we need to manufacture our own stuff. We need to be all this relying on other countries, and it's ridiculous.
We need to make all our own stuff here, and we need to That's what made, at least what I believe, what made the American nation great was the fact that we were a manufacturing and an exporting company. We took in raw goods and we exported things like TVs, radios, jeans, T-shirts. We exported everything. And now we've gone to a country that exports our raw goods and we buy everything that we need from like Walmart, Target, and it's all made overseas. And we need to get back to a country. And if Trump actually takes this wartime president and the National Emergency Powers Authorization Act and starts making shit here, he gets a thumbs up to me, or from me. And I'm not saying I vote for him, but he'll get a thumbs up, and I'll praise him on social media. Thank you for bringing jobs back and putting people back to work. We needed it.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Thanks
we do need it.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by, man. So I'm gonna get back to the
Dude,
video.
I
But thank
appreciate
you.
you taking the call.
Yeah,
I like
man.
the videos. I like the thing. Keep doing your
Appreciate
thing. I'll
it.
call again.
All right, man. Take care.
Man.
All right. Thanks for stopping in.
You too.
All right. All right, guys. So let's get back to some. I don't think I even planned this far because I wanted to see what's gonna happen. But I figured we could watch some Reddit videos. Let me just make sure I went through everything already. And with what the guy was saying that he called in, there was so much that I wanted to say more, but I didn't want to like just challenge somebody just to challenge him. He was calling in, it's nice. But yeah, let's check out some of these videos. And if you want to call in, you can call in if you want. If not, that's cool. I think we did the test tonight. Let's check this out. Obnoxious, loud woman gets told to shut up in NYPD. I don't know if this is recent or not. Let's see. Just shut the video down.
Tired of this fucking shit, my nigga. Tired of this situation, my nigga. Tired of it, my nigga. Tired of this situation, my nigga. It be all the time. What the fuck y'all looking at?
Jesus Christ.
All the fucking time. Always this and that. Always this and that. Fuck. Hey, man.
I hung up on her already. Hold on, I gotta take it back. Yeah, let me tell you, man. Back in the day, like I wasn't really into politics, but I always considered myself a Democrat back in the day. Back in the day, I was really like lost. My father passed away. I was partying. I honestly, when I considered myself a Democrat, I didn't give a shit about anything but like in my instant surroundings. You know what I'm saying? And it's really easy to say, yeah, I'm a Democrat, meaning or liberal, or like it's to me, they're all not like that. But what I've found out to be is people that don't stand on anything. They need to have social acceptance. They don't want anybody to disagree with them. So we're gonna allow everything, right? The 150 different types of genders. These people that claim to care about black people, but don't want to put a border up so we can take care of our own people here in the country first. You know, you want to let all these other people in first illegally, right? And then you want to let them vote. My family came here legally, though. My grandmother paved the way. It's a pretty amazing story. But what I'm trying to say, though, is that like when I didn't care about nothing, when I was just like whatever, that's when I was like that. And then when my daughter was born, I started to kind of change and see things a little bit differently. You know, somewhat conservative. You know, but for the people who pretend that they care, you go out to the corner and see homeless people, all right, dying or not having food or starving, or you know what I'm saying? How are we going to vouch for people not even here? Right? I don't know. CNBC anchor shocked by guest saying, who cares about billionaires losing money if companies go under?
Companies. Are you arguing to let airlines, for example, fail?
Yes.
Why? I
You
mean,
know what the funny thing is too is like I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but I think like blacks and Latinos inherently are actually conservative. I don't know where this has turned to where this whole like I don't know. Especially back in the day, old school parents, that's conservative. My mother doesn't even know she's a conservative. Oh, she's so conservative, but she'd be voting the Democrats all the time and voting for abortion and all this kind of stuff. But she's so against it. She hates it, but she just doesn't understand it. I think some people are conservative, they don't even know it. And then how can you even be religious? Let's say you are religious. How can you even be on the Democrat side? People that support all this evil stuff. Uh, you got these cross dressers or whatever drag queens doing story time to kids in a library. Like what kind of parent, first of all? Maybe I'm going on a rant. It's like you see some things and you can tell people don't have any kind of common sense, drag time, story time. And it's the other thing too, where I think it's people needing social acceptance, afraid to not like they need to be approved by everybody. Okay.
And now to our
Why would you take your kid? Let's see if I can pull this up. Why? Who does this? Why? Like, why do you do this?
DC recently, parents and their tiny tots sat patiently, riveted by a storybook and its reader.
He shuffled into Bear's room. "Wake up, Bear," mumbled Mole. "Spring is here."
This is Drag Queen Story Hour. It's your classic children's reading program with a twist. The day's literary leader is a larger-than-life drag queen.
Everybody wave to each other, make a friend next
And
to
you
you.
got the
Okay?
Chester.
Author Michelle
I
T.
just-
first created Drag Queen Story.
I just don't understand why this sexualization for kids. Like enough of that shit already. Why? Why does this need to happen? It's just weird to me. I have no problem with people that are like into that or do that, whatever. My issue is with kids, yo. Why are they doing this shit to kids, man? It's just so wrong.
How does that make sense in the broader scheme of the economy?
Because it's not, because when you look at what it means, this is why I'm saying, like, this is a lie that's been purported by Wall Street. When a company fails, it does not fire their employees. It goes through a packaged bankruptcy, right? If anything, what happens is the people who have the pensions inside those companies, the employees of these companies, end up owning more of the company. The people that get wiped out are the speculators that own the unsecured tranches of debt, or the folks that own the equity. And by the way, those are the rules of the game. That's right, because these are the people that purport to be the most sophisticated investors in the world. They deserve to get wiped out. But the employees don't get wiped out. The pensions don't typically get wiped out.
Why does anybody, I just don't understand, why
you.
does anybody deserve, using your word, to get wiped out from a crisis created like this? How does anybody deserve to get wiped out?
Well, but just be clear, like, who are we talking about? We're talking about a hedge fund that serves a bunch of billionaire family offices. Who cares?
Damn,
Let them get wiped out. Who cares?
Jesus.
They don't get to summer in the Hamptons. Who cares?
I mean, there are
But if
people.
you get a
don't
clean
think the
cap table-
employees.
hold on, Scott.
You don't
If
think
you
the
get a
employees
clean
of these
cap table-
companies own stocks? I mean, own their stocks, own the company's stocks?
You can look on Bloomberg and you can see what percentage of these companies are typically owned by. These things are owned by BlackRock. These things are owned by these huge, amorphous organizations. Ultimately, downstream, and the employee owns a few $100s or a few thousand.
So weird, man. This is Joe Biden. I was just looking at this Joe Biden stuff on the side. Just, God, yo. Ugh. Chill out, dude. Jesus. Ugh. What the hell, yo? I want to find the video where somebody put a compilation of this guy.
Biden ain't beating Trump. Nope. That's your best? That's the guy?
You know what's funny to me too? You can't get mad at these people, but the people that actually think Biden can handle Trump, that Biden can actually beat Trump, and it's true. This is the best they have. This guy has like clearly some sort of cognitive issues. Clearly, it reminds me of Hillary when she was having her weird spouts, and who knows how many different medications they put her on. And this is what I was going to say to the other caller. Really nice guy. I have no problem with it. But when you talk to some of these people sometimes and you ask them, well, who would you vote for? or who do you think could do better, or whatever. A lot of times I get the response of anybody. Oh, my cat, my dog, my whatever, anybody, a drug addict or whatever. And that's not a good thing. If you haven't, I understand what they're trying to say, that, oh, anything's better than Trump. But really, if we're having a serious conversation and your answer is anybody, anything, that's troublesome. And that's why we have somebody like this, Joe Biden. That guy has clearly some sort of mental deficiencies. And like I said earlier, if you've been watching this live stream since you've been here, and what I've noticed about some of these media people, these people that do nasty stuff to manipulate the media, is that they're like that themselves in their own life. Liars, manipulators. So yeah, Joe Biden has that support. Yeah. Guy.
It shows you how crazy the system is, that they wanted him, that they wanted Biden to be their guy.
Oh, let me tell you this. With Bernie Sanders, first of all, Bernie Sanders should have beat Hillary 2016. I think a lot of this stuff too is like prefixed in a way. They know who they want to be placed up front. I don't know how the hell Joe Biden got there, because I think there's a lot of people that could have done better than Joe Biden. And it seems like Bernie maybe got screwed again. I don't know. There's not going to be a socialist running the country. It's not going to happen. I don't think it'll ever happen.
That they can't
Steph, what's up?
admit that he's in cognitive decline.
I mean,
it's very strange.
Listen, I fuck up all the time. I speak for a living. I fuck up all the time. But
There's a
Biden?
difference.
Biden?
No.
He
there's a
fucks
difference.
up, man. You're a politician.
I fuck up all the time too, but we're also talking live for hours and hours and hours at a time. If I had a prepared thing that I was doing,
like my stand-up, I don't fuck up in.
You would be sharp as fuck if you were having one of those conversations. They're asking you, look, if someone wants to ask me questions about things that I understand, like MMA or like comedy, like you want to ask me questions about things that I think about and talk about all the time.
You have your black belt in both.
Yeah, I can talk to you and really clearly about those things and make a lot of sense. He can't do that about politics, and he's been a politician forever.
And that's your shit.
He's a guy who's suffering. He's in decline, and they're going to try to whale him out. And whoever his VP is, whether it's Kamala Harris or
Michelle
whoever
Obama,
it is, maybe whoever it is, but that's who you're voting for. You know, it's sort of like when Dick Cheney was basically running the country. Well, George Bush was the president.
Man.
You know, I don't know. We'll see.
There's no way he beats Trump.
He doesn't beat Trump.
Not a chance.
No, not a chance. Especially because of the timing of this. Right now, we're in the shit.
Find you guys that
right,
video.
we're in the April shit. This is the worst time of the corona. A lot of people are dying. There's a slight drop off in New York. People dying less today than yesterday. Slight drop off yesterday from the day before. So things are looking pretty good. California,
it's going to be.
Yeah, California is looking very good, right?
Yeah, we're crushing it, huh?
California is looking very good. So and then where's that? Oh, here it is. And so and then you go June, July, August. Hopefully everything's up and running again. Economy starts coming back on track. Trump makes a couple of great speeches. But Biden is more in decline. It's not going to get better.
No, those two face off. Trump's going to light him up like the Comedy Central roast.
Oh my God.
Dismissing him.
He doesn't have. There's no way. There's no way. Mel, got to get going. 3 out of my 6 kiddos just woke up. All right, man. Take care. Thank you again, Annalise, for stopping by. I really appreciate your support. And Jerry and people that have been here. Wise Owl. What a crazy time we're in, man. And I was talking to some people the other day. I forgot who I was talking to. Like, the situation we're in is horrible, right? But people are complaining, right? I'm bored. I have nothing to do. Listen, if you lost your job, that's horrible. I feel so bad for those people. I feel really bad for the people that have lost their job. I feel bad for the people that lost their job, got kids, can't pay rent. That stimulus shit is taking way too long. I feel really bad for those people. If you're a frontline worker or whatever, somebody that's in the field or even an essential worker, I feel bad for those people. But if you're not in those situations, or unless there's something else you can think of, so many people are bored. Yo, you have internet, you have power, you have food. There was one time we had a hurricane here in Florida. We had no power for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm talking about no airflow. It's like Dominican Republic. No power. No airflow, hot, humid. I mean, talk about nothing to do. The phones were dead, no generator. These people haven't experienced nothing and they're freaking out. This could be so much worse. So much worse. This is like a test. This is like a little poke. And look how quickly and what it's done to all the countries in the world, how quickly it's brought people down to their knees. And that's why it kind of pisses me off when people spread that misinformation. I mean, to the point where you can get somebody killed. It's just kind of mind blowing to me. It's mind blowing to me, and it really is that these people don't care. You know, these people don't get. And I've always said that. I've said this before so many times. When the world comes to an end or is coming to an end, you just stay at home and you can watch and see how the people go out and kill themselves. It's almost biblical too, that you can see what it is going on around. Like the shit's falling apart. I mean, I feel we're gonna overcome this. We're gonna be fine. But you can see what's going on, and there's could be literally somebody right next to you that doesn't see nothing. That's the wildest shit to me. That is the wildest shit. That's crazy to me. What's this?
San Diego River, but I want to show you this first. We're live here at Fashion Valley Mall. This is a parking lot that is notorious for flooding. You look at all of this water. This car is submerged, and I am knee deep in water. I don't dare walk to the bottom of this parking lot.
Oh, if anybody wants to call, you can call too if you want to share your thoughts.
But we got gut reaction from one driver who had his car stuck in this. We really feel for him this morning.
Look at this. You know this guy has issues. At least you're alive. Freaks out. Lady freaks out after caught shoplifting. Okay, what's up? I don't know if I said hi to you already. I'm an essential worker. Co-worker is diagnosed with C19. I know a lot of these people are being diagnosed with this stuff. So. I'm not gonna like. You ever work with one of these people? If you ever work retail, are you out of here, Darkstar? Thanks for, bye, babe. Have you ever worked with these people that'll throw their lives on the line? I used to work with a manager. He still works I used to work at CVS. This guy would literally chase people out the store, like chase them out the back door. One time he was wrestling with somebody. I've seen people that will like literally put their lives on the line for these industry. You seen this video before? It looks like an old video. Fast forward a little bit. That's it. Dude was serious. Hey, stop it. You're not going anywhere. I don't know if these videos are old or not. What the hell's up with this guy?
Nancy, my relationship's broke, man.
Oh, can you just sit down on the ground for me? First things first, can you give me your name? I'm Becca. What's your name?
Probably old too, huh?
To marry, that's it, kid. Poor boy, too little.
Okay.
Man, my girls, man.
Have you taken any drugs tonight? Have you been
Obviously.
drinking tonight?
Clearly.
You're just super upset.
It's my breath.
You haven't had anything to drink tonight?
No, I'm not
How
doing
come
that.
you're crying so much? Listen to me. Did you and your wife have a physical domestic? Like, were you beating each other up?
Plot twist.
Or you were just never? Okay.
Man, it was 2 years. Man, love.
Did your wife kick you out of the house?
I want to hear this whole story, man. Might go to Live Leak. I want to see what's going around. The weird guy starts dancing. This has got to be old too. I'm posting all old videos, man. I want to see pandemic videos. Our Turkish government declared a 48-hour curfew. People could not stock up on food because it was implemented within 2 hours in front of this market. God damn. I think that's how they did India. India had like 4 hours or something like that. I think I've seen this video too.
Beni de çek kardeşim. Bayramım ne diyorsun bu duruma? Ya büyüklerinden anası ağlamışlar ne olsun. Allah yardımcımız olsun. Şu halimizi gör, şu milleti gör. Yazık günah, vallahi yazık.
Bum, 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 bum. The hell is going on with these people? Maybe we'll call it a night. Extremely dangerous to our democracy. Some YouTuber.
Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what.
Isn't that crazy? That's what this is a good video. This person. Let's see who this is. What's the YouTube channel's name?
Headley.
Captain Graybeard. I've learned the most, man. Like, if you guys, if you're interested, you should listen to the press conference. One of the Trump press conference. Sit there for the hour and change or whatever, and watch it with context, and then watch 10 minutes later or an hour later how crazy they start to spin everything out of control. The lies that these people put out. It was crazy to me. To prevent a football match. Oh shit, you're playing football over here. Yeah. I want to see Joe Biden's decline. Let's check out this video. This is from ZS Productions. Don't claim my video, please. Need more private for profit prisons.
Come on, man. Come on. Joe Biden, I'm running for this case, running for president of the United States. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other person.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
I just spoke at Dartmouth on healthcare at the medical school, or not. I guess I wasn't actually on the campus, but the people from the medical school were at the. I want to be clear. Why? You're getting nervous, man. Tomorrow, superstar. Minnesota! Or where the hell I spoke. I got Lana. I got hairy legs. Let's do push-ups together, man.
That was so weird when you did
Whatever you want to do. The country wasn't built by Wall Street bankers, CEOs, and hedge fund men. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Putin, in terms of Iraq. In terms of No, I'm called middle class, Joe. It's not meant as a compliment. Means I'm not sophisticated. North Carolina. And the court said we don't have regular felony to do that on our own.
There's no way. Yeah, no way.
6 and too bad. Backing up.
Shit.
2013 when we did that. And they struck it down. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks and the one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. We can only reelect Donald Trump. Alabama!
Jesus Christ.
Proud Democrat. Biden, a Democrat. Truth to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing that turn blonde in the sun. They're going to have a conversion of the road to Damascus, because now you say, by the way, are you going to stick with the president on the following president, the last guy funny. On this issue? And just start naming them. In fact, they said Joe Biden said that what he was what number one.
All right, enough of that. Enough. You got ADD. Inmate video riot. Oh, okay. Now we're getting to the good stuff, man. Now we're getting to the censored inside. This is inside a prison. I usually have these videos kind of preset, so we don't have to scroll. But I didn't prepare for a longer stream tonight. We're almost at 2 hours. Inmate video of riot in Langston Correctional Facility, Kansas. Strong language, so be prepared in case you're sleeping next to your kids. Or whatever.
We done turned up in this motherfucker, nigga. We tired of playing, nigga. We done tired of playing, nigga. My mom. We ain't playing, nigga. We let these niggas go, nigga. We gonna turn up in this motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, niggas ain't doing no faking. Nah. My nigga right there, nigga. You got tour real quick. Let them know that we in this motherfucking live.
Show this shit. Hey, they ain't getting this.
Yeah.
They getting in this motherfucker.
They trying to, though.
Hey, look at off. Look at off.
Oh, yeah, we gotta get the office one time for the
folks. They giving us no health care for this coronavirus.
This is what happened when y'all got niggas going crazy.
Hey, the homie, I got the jacket on.
Yeah, at least some of them got masks on though. That's more than you can say for some of these people free on the streets.
Yeah, man, we gotta get the people a tour, man. Fox 4 said they want a tour, so we gotta give them a tour. We gotta give them a tour real quick. We ain't doing none of that. Hey, you gotta let them know what it is.
Send to the news, too.
Yeah, let them know. Niggas ain't giving us no help in this motherfucker. So we got to turn up real quick. We got Hell Gang, Blood Gang, niggas know.
Finna show y'all the unity of our
All 3 teams set off. What's up, everybody?
That's how we rocking.
Yeah, that motherfucker empty, nigga.
Hey, check this shit out. Check this shit out.
Man. What's up?
We turned up. Hey, this is the unit team's office. This is the unit team's office. Hey, there's some bitches right there. We gotta go all the way around.
Is anyone cold? Huh? Are you cold? Hell no.
Hey, we're finna show y'all. Hey, who are these fans? Y'all don't want to give us no health care. Hey, y'all don't want to give us no health care. This is what we do. All y'all have to do is give.
I thought prisoners do have health care. If they get sick, they just go to the nurse. Stacy, thanks. Have a good night. Appreciate you tuning in.
Some motherfucking health care. Hell yeah. This is the unit team's office. Yeah, that's how we going. That's what we do.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, you know this how we doing it, man.
And turn it up, man. The end of days, party. Oh, geez. Turkey announced lockdowns. People fighting in the streets. Bro, I've been saying it. Just stay inside, man. Let the animals do what they gotta do. Oh man, you really see people change. Once that pressure comes, oof. More casually looting at the Manhattan, New York. Workers not allowed to stop them. Oh, that's that new liberal thing they're passing, right?
Come in.
You can rob of. I think this is an example. You can rob of. I don't know how much money you can steal. Oh, from Turkey. What's up, man? Oh wait, I remember that name. Aren't you a troll or something? We were arguing or something the other. Your name looks familiar. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think there's a law in New York or something in some places that you can steal like under $900 and they can't arrest you, or they just take you in and let you out, or I gotta look it up. Let me look that up and see what it is.
Take everything while the workers are here, and they can't do anything. Yeah, send the squad team. Send them over now. Yeah, take more of my cookies. Come on, get me some sales. And nobody can stop them.
Maybe they just don't have money.
This is crazy. It's fucking. Have a nice day, guys.
Gangster with it, man. End of days. The end of times. Cops have arrested a firefighter in New York. This happened yesterday, April 9th. This happened April 9th. What is this? They say pulled over his FDNY vehicle in Queens. I was raised in Queens. So he could steal a $2,500 flatbed cover. Wow. Let's fast forward a little bit. Oh, brazen with it, with his car and everything. On camera. Who we did are you? Oh, okay. I'm taking calls if anybody wants to call and have a chat. I think people are shy. Maybe I'll get somebody calling me the N-word again. Cop receives parking ticket.
See this? You see these? You see the big computer right there in the console? You see the lights in the front? It's a cop car.
You gave a cop a ticket, man? That's crazy.
So what?
Why would you write a cop car? How do you not look at a cop car?
Block that troll.
Twice, man.
Damn. Yeah, man. Hey, if you violating, you're violating. Get a ticket. I don't know if this is old or recent, but we're not going to listen to a bunch of gibberish. Flying porta potties.
Aquí en Commerce City. Commerce City.
Oh, shit. Oh, snap. Oh. And that's the origin of the virus. Volume's horrible. People lived in this building a day before. And? Oh, it's falling apart, looks like. Oh, snap.
Еще вчера в этом доме жили люди. Люди 3 года судятся с
Muhammad.
администрацией. Людей не расселяли.
1, 2, 3, 2, 3, dawn.
Это о том, о чем мы говорим.
Oh,
что если
Sounds
не
kind of
будет,
Russian.
если не будет своевременных мер, подобные дома.
Sounds Russian. And cruelty in China. What does it say? Kenyans forced to sleep in cold, denied access to supermarkets and public transportation. Damn. I think I saw Lovely T was talking something. I didn't get to watch the video, the whole video. I just saw a little thing of it. I didn't know that was going on over there.
Huddled on cobbled streets with layers of clothing to generate heat under the cold skies of Wanzhou City. This is the new way of life for Africans living in China. The very color of their skin now means trouble, screaming of sickness to natives who bear a different skin tone from them. Africans have become subjects of racial profiling. Chinese nationals blame them for the rising number of new coronavirus cases in the country.
They didn't want me to enter the subway.
I had even bought my ticket that was 4 yuan. And by the time I was going to the subway, they stopped me and then they told me that no foreigner is allowed. And I was like, why? This is a subway.
They're over here worried about Trump. This is happening worldwide.
Then they say that that is the rule. Then who am I to argue with the locals? I complied.
According to the Chinese Health Authority, 63 new coronavirus cases were reported in mainland China, with 61 of them described as imported cases. Brenda, not her real name, has been living in China since 2017. Earlier this week, she was kicked out of her home without any explanation. And just like any other person in a foreign country, the embassy is usually the next resort. For her, it was the Kenyan embassy.
I didn't have a place to go. I had to sleep outside. Yes, I did sleep outside. The next day they came. I tried calling them. They were not actually responding to my call. What they told me, go to the police. I did that. After staying at the police station for a maximum of 3 good hours, they told me that we are sorry, we cannot help.
She reached a dead end after 2 days of sleeping outside the embassy, a situation that many like her from other African nations have found themselves in. This video shows Chinese police officers escorting people of African descent from a place they had set apart for themselves.
I know of 2 pregnant ladies. One is 8 months pregnant, the other is 6 months pregnant. They cannot access hospital.
Patricia, also not her real name, was lucky to have escaped the eyes of Chinese nationals who came knocking in her house earlier.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Like, I've seen this whole racial thing going on, and now we see it with China do it to Nigerians, but there's a lot of people that are doing it to Chinese people too. And you go anywhere around the world and you see these different racial things happening. And man, I thank God that I never grew up with that obsession of race and skin color like that defines me. I thank God I don't have that blindness on top of me. I think people just grow up in different environments, you know. That was one of the things I always told myself. I'm never gonna enslave my daughter's mentality to her the person that she is defined by her skin tone. Because some people just get so blind about it. You see this all kinds of crazy stuff everywhere going on right now.
Today, our conversation on phone revealing just how scary everything is.
So the moment they have come, mimi nimejificha. So sahii niko kwa nyumba, the rest wametolewa, wanasema ati wanawapeleka quarantine for 14 days.
It will be the 4th day today that foreigners, especially blacks, are denied access to services in the city.
Now I don't have food. I don't know what to do. And I can't just go to the street.
Man.
I don't want to sleep outside. Now it's either I choose.
I mean, I think it kind of is. I mean, I'm not the person you want to talk to on race relations, because I think it'll probably piss people off, but I think it sometimes can be, because it stops you from being objective. You know, like some people, I've spoken to people, and the whole racial thing too is kind of funny to me, because I know people. I'll give you an example without saying who or whatever, but for example, let's say a Haitian person that's a little bit light skinned compared to the darker skinned people. Well, the darker skinned people in school, like, they'll tease this person the entire time growing up. Then you got the light skin, the dark skin, and it's just so ridiculous and retarded, and it really gets you nowhere, and it leaves you for no objectivity when you're blinded like that. You just can't be objective in anything. You can't. I mean, it's my opinion. You can't blanket racism on top of everything. You have to actually look at case by case. You know, yeah, of course there's cases like that, but there's cases that's not like that, and then it can be problematic. I'm not talking about this situation, but just kind of in general, I think it can be a blindness, you know.
To have somewhere to sleep, or I choose food.
Our calls.
You know what's blindness too? Like, I mean, if you try to actually have a conversation with these people, like you ask them, okay, like as far as Trump, who do you want in office? They can't give you a name, or they don't care, or whatever, and it's just like, I mean, it's just people blind. Like, if you're at least gonna want somebody in there, who do you want in there? It's just people that don't even care who's in there, as long as he's not in there. It doesn't matter. that implies and that means to me that you don't give a shit about this country. It's just about your hatred for one person. At least give me a suggestion. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I've run into a bunch of people like that. Let's at least talk about it. Give me a suggestion. New York. Oh my God. Oh hell no. That is that was a loogie. But you know what the thing is too with the as far as race, I do believe too it depends on how you grew up in your surroundings, you know. Where I grew up, it might be different from where you grew up, you know. When I grew up in New York, we were all nerds. The kids that I hung out with, black, Asian, white, all nerds. Gaming, playing World of Warcraft, eventually playing Call of Duty, and it didn't matter. It did really. We didn't even see each other like that. Nobody gave a shit about color. But you know, I guess for people in other places where they grew up, it can be a whole different story. And the thing is, too, is people are paranoid. Somebody looks at you the funny way, it has to be racism. You know?
Oh, damn, not you.
You just see questionable. You know, with the other, I was thinking about this today. It's kind of weird because, like, I don't talk to anybody, so now I'm here talking to you guys. But it's almost like, I'm gonna give you another example. And I know that people are probably not gonna like this because there's so many people that buy into it. I don't buy into horoscopes, man. You ever met somebody, you talk to somebody, they want to know your sign? Why? Why do you want to know my sign? Because that little pamphlet you're reading there is dictating to you the type of person that I am. That little horoscope daily pamphlet is going to dictate to you how your entire day is going to be. You're going to read the pamphlet and it's going to tell you, oh, today's going to be a bad day, or you have something coming. So then now you have that in your mind. Like, I never understood that too with these horoscope people. Why? 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 That's control. That's somebody dictating to you what the other person is going to be like, what your day is going to be like. You know what I'm saying? It's just so weird to me. Why do people do that horoscope shit?
I'm a teenager. No reason you pulled out in front of me, you dumbass. Yeah. Go, bitch. Go, bitch, before I call the fucking 911. I'm an underage teenager. I'm an underage teenager. Go. Go the fuck on, bitch. Go. I'm underage. Go. Bitch, I will literally hit your car right now. Go. Go.
Witchcraft, honey. Oh wait, it's playing music. I didn't realize it's playing music. Some thug attempts to fight McDonald's cash. It's probably old. Oh, what is this?
Let the orange go. What the fuck am I holding on to? Yo, you gonna feel this, man? Look what the fuck y'all calling me, dumbass. Get the fuck off. Get the fuck off my fucking leg. Wait.
Jesus. It's biblical.
Take me if you fucking want. What the fuck? Go in this door, man. Fucking pussy ass.
Oh boy.
I want all y'all fucking badge numbers too. Yeah.
SEPTA rider. I don't even know what a SEPTA is. I guess that's the name of a type of vehicle. What's the penalty for assaulting New York's finest? I don't know.
Yeah, they shot him.
Oh,
yo!
people
What
wildin'.
the fuck? What the fuck was that shit about? Oh shit! Holy shit! Run!
Take off.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that shit about? Oh shit!
The other thing too, I knew there was gonna be a horoscope person. It's okay, but I had a thought. The other thing too, like as far as race and I'm not really into tribalism, but the world eventually, it's already so mixed. it's already so mixed. You walk up to somebody, hey, where are you from? Haitian, German, Russian, whatever. Like all 5, 10 different. Like it's everything's becoming so mixed that eventually it's gonna get to the point where I mean, what is it? Right? Like it's just a mix of a bunch of different things. You can't even ask somebody where they're from. I think those people are overdoing it too. Just tell me where the hell you live. Like, you're American, you're Dominican, what you don't need to go on a list of 10 or 15 different places. But it is becoming like that too, though. And race is fake. It's a social construct, right? It's just like eventually it's all going to be just one big blob or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I think, right? Because I believe that white people are the biggest population, but they're starting to wither out, I think, right? Eventually it's just going to be a big mush, I think. What is this?
At McDonald's. I swear to God, I'll beat the fuck out of you.
Oh, God. Yeah, let me not do that. I'll play that here.
You want to be arrested? Yeah, one more try. You want to be arrested? Why would I want to be arrested? Don't leave. I will. You're not.
Live leak. One world. Oh, I think I did go to Live Leak and there was nothing there. Pedestrian open. This was in February. Using your girls' masks.
You're not gonna leave. I will.
It says construction worker uses gasoline to put out fire. Oh. Jesus. People want a social identity. Why? I've always wondered about that. They call it cultural, right? I know a lot of people that are like that. I mean, it's nothing if that's how you feel. I guess it's maybe the way I grew up or whatever. I'm just so detached. I'm so detached from Dominican Republic. I used to go there all the time when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, they used to tease me too. Gringo, gringo. That's the little slang for American. My family would call me gringo, like teasing, kind of funny. And what I noticed too is when I would go to Dominican Republic, the people there knew I wasn't from there. Like, you got nice shoes, you got some nice clothes. You're not from here, So I never really attached myself to that because I noticed when I would go over there, it's just kind of like, But there is a feeling about going back too, and like to the country and all that stuff, which is kind of nice. But victims show footage, Queens, New York hospital full. Can we watch this? It's World Star. Let me see if their video got age restricted or something before we show it here. No, I guess not. I mean, as long as you put it under entertainment, YouTube lets you do whatever you want. Just put anything under entertainment; it's all good. All right, let's see. I think that's what it is. That's honestly what I think they keep making up genders and like all this different stuff. I think people just need to feel a part of some sort of special group. So they just keep adding on different things to make them feel like they're somehow exclusive into some sort of special whatever. I don't know. My country's unknown. So I guess what they're doing is because they have isolation rooms, which is like one room and like one patient maybe or two, but there's so many patients. I guess that whole area is kind of like all the medical workers have to wear the PPE, and then you have all the patients just there in the open, I guess, coughing everywhere. Apparently. Damn, that lady's laid out. Make it smaller. Richard Spencer, white nationalist. Yeah, I heard this. Sounded like a little girl screaming when I heard him.
You called me a fat ass. That's really nice of you.
Wait.
We're enjoying the day. Why are you acting like this? We sat down to drink water and have cookies with the kids. It has not been an hour. You know what? If you have a problem, go back in your house. No, it's fine. You're on video right now, and I'm going to post this and blast it all over Facebook.
Oh, Jesus.
Why don't you tell me what your name is so I can add it to the video? Go ahead, tell me. And I'm not on your property. My homeless campsite?
Oh.
With 3 children on their bikes? What is wrong with you right now? If you aggress me, I'm going to call the police.
Aggress me.
What are we doing wrong? They're children. You just called me. I am not
It says Nashville. This is in Nashville.
anywhere near you. You just came near me. You have a problem, sir, and I'm sorry that it's on you, and I'm sorry that you're angry, and I'm sorry. No, I don't have to go anywhere. And in fact, we're going to stay here all day. Good. Then sit here and feel good about yourself in front of children acting like that. Exactly what you're acting like. I am. Karen? You want to know what my name is? It's I don't care about you.
Right?
It's all right. I've
Oh,
got it
God.
all on video. You're fine.
There's a lot of people that are bored. These are the bored people too. A lot of people that are bored. Now they're having to interact with their neighbors forcibly, and they're outside and they got nothing to do.
I'm going to post it on Facebook because you just called me a fat ass in front of my kids. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing. I hope your wife is going to come in here and talk some sense to you. Pack up the stuff, kids. Good. Then you should, and you should feel good about doing it in front of 3 children.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what? I don't need to hear you talk at all, actually. You're really ignorant. I know. I'm going to sit right here.
Children, you want to stay and listen to me fucking cuss all day?
Oh, that's messed up, man. Now he's crossing the line. You don't do that shit, dude. You don't do that shit.
I'm sorry your life is miserable, sir.
Cute kid. You don't do that shit.
Yeah,
with
it
the
is.
kids, man.
For you to act like this, it's got to be pretty horrible. I'm filming you. Oh, I'm putting my kids through having a nice day. Don't come near me. Don't come. Hey, I've got coronavirus. Maybe you should stay away from me.
And you see, this is what happens a lot of times with parents. I've been through this situation too. You know, when I was in a relationship, but adults become so not even know what the word is, just unaware, just of their surroundings, of the kids. They just completely, like, the smart thing to do is be one of these people, walk away, right? These kids are hearing all this cursing back and forth, like just walk away, somebody. They just want to keep engaging.
You're getting closer to me. I was 20 feet away from you on a bike path.
On my property. Bike path.
Are you on your medication?
No, Jesus.
Ride your bike. Ride your bike. Ride your bike. Throw the rock.
Kids, how do you feel about him talking to you like that?
See, and then what she's doing is what some of these mothers do. Why involve the kids? Just leave the kids out. Why ask the child, what do you think about this?
Crystal!
Great, throw the crystal.
I don't want to.
Keep rolling, throw it.
Do you feel good about yourself talking to a 3-year-old like that?
As good as you do, parking your rear end right where you are.
That's right. On a
This is so dumb.
public right away. On a bike path.
What a waste. Jesus.
Please step away 6 feet. Please step away 6 feet. What's your name, man? Have a great day.
mean, just stupidity. Like, what exactly are you accomplishing? Both recording each other. Okay. Yo, just stay inside, man. I don't want to play that. China kicks Black Africans out of hotel.
On April 8th, a large number of African people in the southern Chinese city Guangzhou were driven out by their landlords and had to stay on the streets. Another video shows many Africans dragging their luggage aimlessly through the streets of Guangzhou. One of them says, "We are just walking on the road. They can't give us a house, they can't give us a hotel, and they cannot provide a place we can stay." It comes after all of the cases reported by Guangzhou authorities in April were reportedly related to African people. Chinese media have only reported about testing people from abroad. They haven't talked about testing locals, so we can't rule out the possibility that...
Oh, of course, because they want to keep everything looking nice. So we're just going to accuse the African Black people. I mean, they should at least test their own people too. But they just want to make it look like they have everything under control, and this is just an external issue.
Many of the locals are also infected, but it's not being reported. It's led to discrimination against Africans among local Chinese. One citizen says the Africans staying on the street are a potential safety threat and a virus transmission hazard. Guangzhou is likely going to be a catalyst that ignites southern China.
I'm going to get out of here soon.
Japan will spend $2 billion to move its manufacturing from China to other countries. Before the pandemic, China was Japan's biggest trading partner.
Damn, I didn't know China had Japan on their hands and knees too, like everywhere else. China's dominating the entire world, man. That's crazy. I didn't know how much power they had, like just financially and everything.
But in February, imports were slashed by nearly half as factories in China shut down. 3 Chinese companies listed on the U.S. stock exchange are facing accounting scandals. Last week, Chinese coffee chain super brand Luckin Coffee revealed that its chief operating officer fabricated about $300 million in sales in 2019. The company's value fell nearly 80% over the next 2 days. China's answer to Netflix, iQIYI, has been accused of inflating its 2019 revenue by over $1 billion. It's reportedly done this by exaggerating its user numbers by 42 to 60%.
Bro, I don't trust anything that's coming out of there from the government.
And then faking expenses to explain where the extra revenue went. Investment company Muddy Waters Research supports the accusation. In response, iQIYI agreed its 2019 report contains numerous errors, unsubstantiated statements, and misleading conclusions.
I don't know, man. What is this?
Going on, nigga. What the fuck? And this nigga comes out soaking wet. Like, whoa, what you doing, folks? Oh,
Stupid, bro. You can't help stupid people. I don't know if this is a recent video or whatever. You just can't help stupid. You gotta let them down. Man.
What is going on? What?
I guess it is recent. It looks like somebody has a mask.
The fuck?
What the hell is going on, dude?
What the fuck is going on? Nigga, this shit is what?
Jesus Christ.
Who is freaking out? What?
Rainbow, what's up? Somebody on Twitch. How many people do I have on Twitch watching? 1 or 2 people. What's up? Thanks for joining. You said President Z is good friends with Trump. I don't know, man. Are you sure about that? I just wonder sometimes if Trump is just keeping up appearances because they have such a hold on us. I don't know. I mean, you definitely don't want to go to war with China right now because they control everything. I mean, they...
Go fucking hit me. Hit me, bitch. You fucking won't. Go fucking ahead, hit me. That's right. Sit your fucking ass down and shut the fuck up. Stop popping your goddamn gum like a ghetto.
All right, let me take it off. Well, let me see what's here because I want to see it, but if it gets too crazy, this thing's not even letting me move it. It's like telling me you can't do it. It's just kind of whatever. I'm not gonna show it though.
No, what did you say? You said don't. You say get corona? Don't touch. No, what did you say? You said don't touch anything. Get corona.
I don't care.
What? No, you literally just said don't touch anything. You have corona. Is that what you said?
Yeah, corona.
I'm sorry, man. Very racist. Can't believe this is happening today. Yeah, you can't even look at the camera, right? Because you're so racist.
Yeah, racist.
Everybody's racist.
Hey, man. I know. Hey. That's. I know you don't want to be on camera, bro, but that's your girl over there, who is like racist, absolute racist.
Racist.
People be calling each other racist all day long.
Speed limit's 25.
Yeah, tweaked
Excuse
out.
me? I did, yes.
Watch your fucking mouth, bitch. Next time I'll fuck your ass up.
Speed limit's
Watch your
25.
fucking feelings. I'm gonna fuck you up next time.
Speed limit's 25.
Watch your feelings. I'm gonna fuck you up next time.
You look strung out. You're on meth or something, dude. You're fucking twacked out, dude.
You're fucking sick, bitch.
You're fucking flipped. Fuck you, asshole.
This is 2017. Tweaker goes crazy. Get out the tank. Father's anger. Dad attacks son's killer in Ohio room. This looks really
courtroom
old.
chaos as a father's anger boils over
Todd,
when he
what's
came
up?
face to face with his son's killer. Happened at the sentencing in
Twitching
Ohio
mouse.
after the suspect pleaded guilty to murdering the 28-year-old man.
The victim's father, overwhelmed with emotion, leaping across a table and choking the man who took his son.
Choke that bitch. Oh, wow. Jesus. Oh, yeah, that guy's in pain, man. I don't know the story behind that, but Jesus. Man gets dragged off a bus by Philly police for not wearing a face mask. Who knows? Oh, we just saw this. African cops makes a man strip and twerk. I'm almost afraid to play this.
Vas-y. Hein? Vas-y. Vas-y.
Sempa.
Ponte.
Oh my God.
Allez, vas-y.
Oh, Jesus.
Descends. Voilà. Regarde-moi lui là. Tourne, viens. Tourne.
Oh God, yo. That guy sounded like he was enjoying it though. The guy that was making him do it. Can you believe he said "Big Mama"? Yeah. So what? Maybe we should watch those videos again real quick. Dude's getting down. Daughters out here wasting Minute Maid juice, but mom was not having it. What's up with that? Big Mama.
Juice. Some silly ass. Look at all that shit up.
I don't even know what that was about. Damn, Turkey's going crazy, man. Big Mama.
running up? You're on my property. Are you running up? No, nigga. Who the fuck are you calling a nigga? Who the fuck are you calling a nigga? Who in the fuck are you calling a nigga? Who are you calling a nigga?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was expecting that. She got her fast, though. That was quick. Sorry.
Ahí está. Los señores uniformados le dicen que por favor le acompañe. Dice que la mami está aquí, pero él anda con el paraguas a altas horas. Ya no debe estar aquí. ¿Qué hora es? Dígame la hora. Son las 16 horas con 5 minutos. Y él pues ya tiene 2 horas, como que dice, de estar infringiendo de la Policía Nacional y Comisión de en la casa.
Mark it, bro. I think we're gonna call it a night. Oh, here's another Chinese mob brutally attacks African tourist. Damn, it's really going down over there. It was crazy, man. Let me see. Damn. Bro, who would have thought we'd ever see some shit like this? Like, that's just insane to me to see, like... Wow. That's incredible, man. It's like we always talk about, I mean, obviously, I guess we're so focused on America, but like, look at this stuff going on outside of America. Jesus Christ, man. What the hell? And you would never think these people be acting like that. What the hell? Black guy with a UFO video of Detroit recently. No, check that out. And I'm not sure what kind of a beating is this. Man, I would have got up and hurled all 4 or 5 of these skinny ass little people just playing around with this guy. Oh, hell no. Jesus Christ. I mean, you don't really hear them talking about this in the media or anything, right? That's my knowledge. What's the point of this? I wonder if this is a current time though, because they don't have any masks on though. Jesus, this guy came like an hour late to help out. Irish travelers at it again.
You snuffy bosies. You made a video today, boys, that we have a crowd ticket for us. We don't give a fuck about you dirty, scummy bosies. And the best part is that the bosies from Mayfield above.
And the partners with your cut, your head's coming off. No matter what happens, you're dead. And you say that the Bucks will be gone. If the Bucks and the Stokes, we're together, we'll die together. And anyone you can't, we're cutting the heads off you. And no women and children, you better hide them down the back of Spring Lane because we're blowing up that site. And no garage in the shop, that's it.
Jesus.
We run in and we kill his third inside it.
And boys, another thing, boys, as well. Why didn't you ring us today like proper a minute? Give us only a simple phone call to meet you instead of every guard in Cork City and over. Because you're bloody your buttocks.
I put the internet. He's getting looking for. You're mad looking, boys, for we are this. You're getting nowhere with, boys. You're getting caught. Simple as that. And whoever's caught is getting butchered. You know, every man that will deal with you today. Especially he's getting fought. Or jail getting. You start the whole lot you're getting. Every man that will deal with you today, they're getting caught. As simple as that. We're the buck stokes and we don't care for nobody. Simple as that.
I have no idea what that was about. Let's see if the comments say anything. I don't know. Weird stuff. Girl exposed guy for cheating in front of their friends. This looks like it's probably.
Yeah. I want to thank you not for being real, but for being a snake and scuffing. Everybody here knows that she's been cheating. Everybody here knows that she's been talking to Allie. Everyone knows she's talking to Rachel. Have you sexting?
I don't want the music to.
Oh, yes, queen!
Projectile pooper pleads guilty for not staying home. What the heck? Projectile pooper. That's a news article. Is this real or just like a troll site? One person was convicted in Haywood for failing to follow the county's stay-at-home directive. Dominican Broward, Beechwood, Ohio, pleaded guilty to 2 counts. Misdemeanors, shoplifting. I'm just wanting to read about the poop. If you don't have the poop, I don't want the story. Damn, it still look crazy. She's hot. Bro, man. I'll say it again. Thank God I'm in this country. Holy crap. Baltimore store price gouging.
$8.98. This is ridiculous. These prices are crazy. We are going to die from starvation, especially for the ones that not out here working. Like, seriously. For the ones that can't work, we're going to starve from starvation because these prices are ridiculous. They done took the food prices all the way up. This don't make no sense.
Damn.
For this little pack of spare ribs. That's crazy. Yes, and look at this chicken prices. This is ridiculous. Like, seriously.
Damn, really? $200?
This is
Yeah, that 270 is like, I forgot. This is an old camera. I mean, it's a good camera. But how much? Actually, I don't know. I'm thinking about the 620 or something like that. The 320. I forgot the number. I have the upgrade one after that, but
ridiculous. Like,
wow,
$35. We are going to die out here from starvation, especially the people that cannot get out here to work. Like, they done put all the prices of food done gone all the way up. All the way up. I feel sorry for the elderly that don't get food stamps and stuff. No sense. For these little pack of hot dogs, do you see what?
Oh, $4 is kind of like sometimes what I pay for hot dogs. Between $3, $4, $5.
We are spending. Do you see how they done jack these prices up out here? Yes, I'm going live and I'm going to say everything because this is ridiculous. Because by the time this stuff is over with, us as people, we going to die from starvation. Look at this. For this little teeny little box of steakums. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They is trying to kill us. For $22. For 20. Look at this. This little teeny piece of meat. For $22.
Well, what kind of meat is it though? What's the details of it?
And 25 cents. How in the world are we going to live out here? How we going to live out here? We're going to die. And it ain't going to be from Corona. It's going to be, we're going to die from starvation. Like, seriously. The way these prices is, it don't make no sense. Our prices, because this don't make no sense. How all these things, look at this.
Damn.
Look at this. This don't make no sense. It's just
Let's see what else we got.
I got a call for Sam's Club, trust me.
Come on now.
For dead on little bottle of barbecue when they usually 89 cents.
You know why? Look at the earnings.
Look at this mayonnaise.
Look how they do us. Don't make no sense.
It don't make no sense.
That's a big tube of mayonnaise.
Yeah, look at this mayonnaise.
Look how they do us. Don't make no sense.
Is that a big ass tube of mayonnaise? $4.48. That's about the price, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it depends on what state. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of the prices don't look that crazy to me. Some of the stuff kind of looks.
Macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese. Now that gave me a number. Macaroni and cheese.
I'd like to know what size of macaroni and cheese it is. Is that the family pack? It's interesting, man. Inmates in the I hit Dominican Republic's doing kind of bad. Oh, we can take a look at my peoples. Inmates in Dominican Republic, Victoria prison making shanks as they arm themselves to try and fight their way out of the prison. The virus is wreaking havoc with the inmate population. That's weird. Why are they fighting? Oh God. Yo, I really think that people should not go to Walmart. Walmart is like the ground zero. If this is a current video, I'm not sure that this is a current time video. If this is you should not be go to some small store, go to a dollar store, go to Save a Lot or whatever small little stores in your area, go to Publix. Walmart is ground zero. I'm telling you, man. This might not be current. It's probably not current. Beer bottle. Man forcibly pulled off public transportation in Philly for not wearing a mask. Did we watch this already?
Public transportation. If you do not have a mask, you cannot ride public transportation,
Damn.
sir.
They're enforcing it.
Sir, you have to get off the bus. You have to get off the bus. Sir. Sir.
Turn up time. What was that?
You gotta get off the bus,
oh,
man.
Okay.
I'm gonna have the cops take you off, one or the other. You have to get off. You have to get off. You have to get off. Let's go. I have to get off? Yes, sir. You know I have it. You don't have no mask. Let's go. Let's go. You gotta get off. Let's go. Let's go. You gotta get off. Let's go.
I thought he was wearing something to cover his face, right? Who's the guy?
You gotta get off the bus, man. I'm gonna have the cops take you off, one or the other. You have to get off. You have to get off. Let's go. I have to get off? Yes, sir. You know I have it. You don't have no mask. Let's go.
Man lost his rent money at the casino and reacts very politely. Going all out, turning up, man.
We have somebody want attention, please. With the pet friends in Cowley, we have a young guy in here putting the machines about, he's smashing them up. We assist with surgery. No, it's Betfred's in Cowley. That's where. Betfred's Temple Square, Cowley. 1 second. OX4 3YQ.
Doing a horrible job, Duncan. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we're behind the counter at the moment, but he smashed all the machines up.
Looks like a hole in the wall casino. What kind of casino is that? Road rage. Goddamn copyright music. Keep it moving. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get some rest, man. Maddie will probably be up early in the morning. Go, wake up, Daddy. Wake up. No sleep. Oh my God, dude. Bro. And she's still going to the car. Why would you keep, like, insanity? It's still dipped out. And the car's still rolling. Yeah, I don't think that was a casino. Wow. Yeah, thanks for coming, Todd. Appreciate you. My first time, I think, streaming. Or I think it was like, it's been a couple of years since I've been on Twitch.
Hablar con él. Yo te
Running from the police.
por favor, yo te
No me voy a quedar aquí ahorita cuando se salga, me voy a pelar.
No, Tony, por favor.
Tú cálmate, ¿ok?
No vas
yo,
a...
Eso
no.
está... Ya, ahí viene. Shh.
No hagas eso.
No
Tony.
me va a alcanzar, no me va a alcanzar.
Tony, te va a tomar las placas.
No,
por favor,
no.
Sí.
Oh my God.
No, ya nos necesitamos ir, man. No quiero que me corten troncos. Que te vaya la verga ese morro, man. Vámonos. Ahí ve. Oh my God, ¿dónde voy?
Vete derecho, no le hace que
This is fake.
No, aquí se acaba la calle, man.
Dale para acá.
¿A la izquierda? Vámonos.
Tony, por favor.
It's fake. Fuck out of here. People smiling and shit.
Vámonos.
Tony, ahorita te metes en una casa o en algo. Tony, le va a hablar a más policía.
Yo me los llevo a todos, man. ¿Nos vamos a Fresno?
Sí,
¿A Los Ángeles?
Vámonos a donde sea. Vámonos.
No, algo.
Tony, dale, por favor.
¿Me quieres?
Sí.
I wasted time.
Oh, he's trying to throw a water bottle at her. Oh, he's calling me.
Night, bedtime. Uh-oh. Stay.
She's gonna get killed if she doesn't get out of the street. Are you calling the police?
I was trying to know what the number is.
I can call. I'll call.
Somebody needs help. There he is.
All right, come on. Jesus, dragging her off. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to get some rest, guys. Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate it. So tonight we streamed on, I think, 3 different platforms or 4. Let me just check real quick. Damn, bro. Thing was blowing on Twitch. Twitch had 7 views. It's trash. Now it's gonna look like a. I was kind of curious about Twitch, but let me see Periscope. Let's take a look. Because Twitter's been like shadow banning all my posts. Oh, I don't think I. Did I get any views? I don't even know. Let's see Twitter. It could meld Twitter. I don't even know. Views? I don't think I did. I'm not sure. But anyway, the main thing is Facebook and YouTube anyway. Let's see. Yeah, and we got to test out calls tonight for the first time. So I don't know if I'll make it a thing or not. I think my biggest problem with YouTube is the schedule, man. With Maddie, it's just like impossible to like make a schedule unless I did night streams. But then I sacrifice my sleep. You know, I can't do that all the time. So I don't know. But I had fun, man. You guys stay safe. I think I'm gonna do some cleaning tomorrow. Maybe make a video. I don't know. E Junior. Exactly. Knows exactly what real unconditional unbiased love means. Only those who never experienced will have. What? Anyone who actually had a grandmother they called Big Mama knows exactly what real unconditional unbiased love really means. Only those who never experienced what have. I didn't find any of that stuff offensive. I think people are just being so ridiculous. There was even some lady. There was one screenshot I took. This one lady, so stupid, yo. You could tell these people were really just trying so hard to cause some problem. I watched this live and I gasped at Abuela. And I almost dropped my coffee cup when he said Big Mama. Count me as offended. There's nothing offensive about Abuela. I call my grandma Abuelita all the time. Abuela, Abuelita. The only thing the guy was saying was just try to have some respect for your elderly, the family members in your family. It's just crazy to me. But that's the media. But you guys have a good night, man. Take care. Be safe.